Joining me now are three of the best radio talk show hosts in the country. From Washington, D.C., we're joined by Joe Madison of WOL and XM Radio. In Phoenix, Charles Goyette of KFNX. And in New York, joining me on the set is Mark Simone of WABC Radio, and thank you all for being here. You know, we've been discussing this University of Florida tasering incident, and you know, it seems we have a variety of opinion, even in the newsroom. It's very interesting. I would really like to get your quick comments on that, in terms of what's your opinion, Joe?
Well, even here in Washington, in the makeup room, there's a variety of opinions. My position is I think it was overkill, quite honestly, on both parts. I hate it when people know that their time is up, but they're just going to insist. But at the same time, you know, I think Senator Kerry was right. Maybe they should have allowed him to handle it, and eventually the student would have probably said what he had to say and leave. This seemed to be excessive to me. Yeah,
Senator Kerry did, in fact, offer to answer the question at one point, but it never got to that.
And he should have been allowed to. He's dealt with these kinds of situations before.
Yeah, Charles, go ahead.
Kitty, can I just tell you, Senator Kerry has shown once again how utterly useless he is. Maybe it's something about serving in public office. There was a time that he was a brave and outspoken and bold man when he came back from Vietnam, and he said, how do you ask a man to be the last person to die for a mistake? In this case, he went on and droned while this kid was being wrestled to the floor by 5 or 6 cops while the kid got tasered, and he went on and on with his droning answer and reply. Yeah. Look, all of us in the public debate have been in these public talks where somebody asks a question, he goes on too long, he hogs the microphone and stuff, and it's all so easily handled, and Kerry couldn't bestir himself to put an end to it. The man has been useless in public life.
Well, there are some who would argue it's pretty hard to shut up a 21-year-old college student with a point to make. Joe, go ahead.
Well, let me clear up a few of these myths. Okay. First of all, I've watched all of the video. He wasn't asking a question. He was making a long speech. He was attacking Kerry for not contesting the vote in 2004. And when he did throw in a question, it wasn't even a real question. He asked him, was he a member of Skull and Bones? I guarantee you this kid knew that because Kerry's answered it 1,000 times. The other myth is, well, John Kerry wanted to answer his question. John Kerry would have loved to get this kid out of the room. There never should have been a taser here. But this kid was the worst disruptive, spoiled brat you can imagine.
Mark, this is nonsense. I've seen all of the tape. We've seen the whole deal. These are questions that actually people in our industry, in the news profession, should be asking John Kerry. He goes to these forums. He says, oh, we're in danger of a war in Iran. And so the student says, well, why don't you do something about it? Because he does nothing about it.
But
it's
Kerry's
a perfectly legitimate question.
I'm sorry, Kerry's not one more time.
Kerry's not the issue here. The issue is whether the police overreacted. It's not Kerry's not the issue.
No,
it's
but
about,
Kerry was in
and
a
they're not investigating Kerry. They're investigating the police.
I don't think we're going to solve it. Let me move on to another. I just really need to get through a couple of subjects. And this is Senator Clinton unveiling her health care plan. Again, a fury over this. Everyone has something to say. Let's hear what Mitt Romney had to say about it. So let's listen to that for a second.
Her plan is crafted by Washington. Mine is crafted by individual states. Her plan has government insurance. Mine has private insurance. Her plan raises taxes. Mine does not raise taxes. So it's as different as night and day.
He also accused her of buying into European bureaucracies, a model from European bureaucracies. But, you know, many of the experts say that this plan is quite similar to Mitt Romney's plan. The Clinton and Romney plans are quite similar. What do you have to say about this, Joe?
The devil is in the details. That's exactly, all you have here is a basic philosophical plan right now with no details. I like the fact that small businesses might get tax breaks. What I don't like about it is mandatory health insurance. I mean, you've got a lot of young people who don't want it at all. So there are good parts to it, bad parts to it. The reality is it's going to be the second biggest issue in presidential politics, and let's wait and see.
Very big issue for the American public, Joe.
First being Iraq.
Well, having Hillary Clinton put together a health care plan, that's like Ray Nagin putting together an emergency shelter. The last time either one of them tried it, it was a disaster. And this idea that the government can force you, order you to buy health care, I don't even know if that's constitutional. Where's it say in the Constitution that the government can order you to purchase
the
something?
The Massachusetts state plan is based on that premise.
Yeah, you could make that case about Romney.
Well,
I'm not here to defend Romney either, but this might
Mark,
be...
if you were particularly concerned about the Constitution, you should have objected to the unconstitutional war. But I'll tell you something, the American people need to stand up and look at any politician who offers to give them anything for free in the next election cycle and vote no. We are broke. I don't think that most of the American people understand. We got $9 trillion in debt on the books. The dollar is sinking like a stone. We are broke. Do not let them try to con you and buy your vote with money they do not have.
Well, let's also point out we have record revenue. We got, I think, a 2.5% deficit, which is unusually low. It's not a case of not enough revenue coming in. It's too much government spending already.
Oh no, then all of it's being spent, and all of it's being.
You drive by the public schools. Mark, you drive by the public schools in your neighborhood and you laugh at the little children on the playground because the Bush administration and the Democrats have loaded children unborn and on the playgrounds of the public schools with debt. They will never have the lifestyle or the standard of living that we enjoy today because of this runaway government.
Only thing I was going to say is that, and we're going broke deeper and deeper in debt because of this war. That's the reason, and that's why we better end this war now, and that's why it better be the #1 debate. And then maybe we can have some money to do the kinds of things, because health insurance is a big issue as this country gets older, and it's going to get bigger.
Let's talk politics for a second. John Edwards also taking issue with Senator Clinton today about a campaign fundraiser that she held. Donors were given the opportunity to meet with Clinton and then other members of Congress to discuss security-related issues. Now, Edwards says this shows exactly what's wrong, this sort of special interest groups access that goes on in Washington inner circles. What do you think about this? Joe, I'll start with you.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, somebody else?
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, what's new? You're absolutely right. Everything is special interest in this town. I mean, except for the American people, the middle-class people. We don't have lobbyists. Poor people don't have lobbyists, and quite honestly, I'm really sick of it, which is one reason I announced last week that I'm giving up my political affiliation and going independent with a small I. I'm tired of it because both parties are in the hip pocket of corporate America.
All right.
Congratulations, Joe. Congratulations. Welcome to the Club of Independents. Good work, bud.
Charles, what do you think about the Clinton-Edwards issue?
I think that the entire United States government is up for auction. The tax code is nothing but a playground for lobbyists and for politicians to buy re-election. None of this stuff is surprising. There's got to be a holistic solution to what we face. And the holistic solution, Kitty, is to take away from the politician the right to dispense or give out goodies. That's how they finance their re-election. That's how they're bankrupting America.
Mark, is the system broken, as we are suggesting this evening?
Absolutely. Joe is absolutely right. Both parties equally guilty here. The only problem with Edwards is, I mean, he's absolutely a $3 bill on this. Here's a guy who, when he left Congress, chose as a career working at a hedge fund, and he's worried about special interest groups. Here's a guy whose hedge fund is foreclosing on Katrina victims. He's a senior advisor who claimed he knew nothing about it.
All right. Well, on that optimistic note about the political process, we have to end it. Mark Simone, Charles Goyette, and Joe Madison, thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Coming up at the top of the hour, Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer. Wolf.